In the hushed, candlelit corridors of a grand Manhattan apartment, the night begins with a simple domestic exchange. A man in a tuxedo, Bill Harford, searches for his wallet while his wife Alice, resplendent in black, prepares for a holiday party, their words clipped with the practiced ease of a long marriage. As they descend into the glittering ballroom of their host Victor Ziegler, the festive air is thick with champagne and brittle laughter, yet beneath the surface, a current of unease stirs. Alice's flirtatious encounter with a suave stranger, who whispers of marriage as a necessity for deceit, plants a seed of doubt in Bill's mind. Later that night, in the intimacy of their bedroom, Alice, emboldened by marijuana and wine, confesses a fantasy of abandoning Bill for a naval officer she glimpsed years ago, a revelation that shatters Bill's complacency, igniting a jealous obsession that will drive him into the city's dark underbelly. At the masked orgy, Bill, cloaked in a borrowed costume, witnesses a depraved ceremony of masked figures and ritualistic sex, but his presence is soon discovered. A mysterious woman, her face hidden, risks everything to warn him, urging him to flee before the society's enforcers, led by a menacing figure, can exact their revenge. Confronting Ziegler, the host reveals the truth: the society is a cabal of the elite, and Mandy's death was an accidental overdose, not murder. But the warning is clear, and Bill is told to forget what he saw, lest he and his family face dire consequences. Returning home, Bill finds Alice asleep, and in the quiet of their bedroom, he breaks down, confessing his night of terror. Alice, waking, holds him, and in a moment of fragile reconciliation, they acknowledge the fragility of their marriage, the masks they wear, and the secrets that bind them. In a lavishly decorated bathroom, the air is thick with tension as a man in a white shirt stands with a towel, while a woman in a teal robe reclines on a red couch, the scene a tableau of quiet dread. As the man in the suit, Victor, is left alone with the other, he thanks him for saving his skin, and the savior hints at a secret he shouldn't reveal, a confidence that hangs in the air like smoke. The man in the tuxedo pleads to see Alice again, but she refuses, stating she is married, a boundary that seems to shimmer with unspoken desire. In a private moment, a woman stands nude from behind, the stillness broken by a question about two girls from the party, her voice probing, accusatory. The woman, now identified as Alice, confronts her husband about the models he was with, her words sharp, demanding to know where he disappeared with them for so long. The husband admits Ziegler wanted to sleep with his wife, and he finds it understandable, calling Alice a very beautiful woman, but she twists his words, accusing him of wanting the models. Alice, agitated, accuses him of being unable to answer her question, and he deflects, blaming the weed for her aggression, but she denies it, the argument spiraling. He argues that the patient fears what he might discover, not sex, but Alice retorts that women think differently, that men are wired to seek any available hole, while women are cautious. Alice, now kneeling on the floor in distress, asks if he remembers last summer in Cape Cod, and a young naval officer who glanced at her, a moment that left her frozen. She confesses that even as they made love and planned for the future, that officer never left her thoughts, a haunting admission that shatters the fragile peace. As a shirtless man sits on the edge of a bed in the dim light, she recalls how, paradoxically, he had never been more precious to her than in that very moment, and how she barely slept that night, waking in turmoil. In a softly lit room, the man, now identified as Dr. Harford, makes a phone call, confirming an address, while a woman's voice mentions someone who died at a dance. Walking down a dimly lit, elegant hallway, Dr. Harford enters a room where a woman named Marion greets him with gratitude, and he offers his condolences for her father's death. Dr. Harford reassures her that her father died peacefully in his sleep, and she confesses she feared the manner of his death more than death itself. Marion mentions her fiancé Carl, a mathematics professor, and their upcoming wedding in May, and Dr. Harford offers his congratulations, suggesting the move to Michigan will do her good. As Carl arrives, Marion's desperate declarations are interrupted, and Dr. Harford takes his leave, exchanging quiet pleasantries before stepping out into the night. A woman in a fur coat approaches him, asking the time, and invites him to her apartment, promising it's cozier than the street, and he hesitantly agrees to follow her. As they begin to kiss in the soft glow of string lights, the man suddenly pulls away, apologizing, and receives a phone call, telling the caller he doesn't know when the funeral will be. Reclining on a bed adorned with colorful pillows and a plush tiger, Ashley asks if he must leave, and he insists he does, but she tells him he doesn't have to pay her, a gesture that lingers in the air. Outside a brightly lit music venue, a man in a dark coat gazes at a poster while another man watches him from a distance, the air thick with unspoken tension. Nick greets an old acquaintance, Bill, who admits he arrived late, and they settle into conversation over drinks, with Bill revealing he came because of a patient in the neighborhood. She tells him that he woke her from this nightmare, and he curses under his breath, the weight of her confession settling between them.